actually been playing it Dire side a lot.
Yeah.
So
it's a very simple way, in my opinion, to just snowball and get advantage. You know, just build it slowly and slowly, and then you just end up, you know, winning the game. It doesn't really look like a game, in my opinion, because you don't get the chance to fight it back. But
right. So if they're going to have to do something about the Lycan, where else do they go?
Well, they might just ban the Lycan. Lycan might get banned this game, and then he's gone. You know.
Yeah.
The Lycan. Go back to the first game. There was the Lycan was banned.
Yep.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
He's gone. So we don't have to talk anymore about Lycan.
No,
good, let's move on
but the
quickly.
Enigma is still there, and the Venomancer is still there.
I actually have to say that I think that Venomancer is like Fnatic's best hero. I'm not even kidding. Like, they just put tricks on that hero, and he's just being annoying. One of those lanes just kept pressuring with the wards, and he was actually a famous like Venomancer player, and when they used to play Han together, I think that's pretty much the same team. So he loves that hero, and yeah, what to say? I don't really know how to like describe why they are so good with Venomancer, but it seems to work out for them. I think it's very annoying to face their Venom, for sure.
Have you got heroes like that, though, that you play that other teams just go, why are they so good? How do they, there's nothing we know that they do, and
there's no hero you can.
There's a certain bulldog that plays something.
I'm trying to tease him. Give me a break here, guys.
I play like a new hero every game, so I'm not really sure
Really?
that's my kind of thing, but yeah.
Loda, since you're here, and I like to hear your opinion, and also the rest of the panel, there has been a resurgence of these very teamfight-oriented heroes recently. You see the Tidehunter and Enigma a lot. Is there a reason why?
Well, yeah, I mean, people tend to go a lot more as 4 or 5. Like, for example, people like to, if you pick up the Lycan pick, for example, you like to get a Tidehunter, so you make sure that your team fight is quite strong. Then maybe you push sometimes as 4, sometimes as 5 with the Lycan, with just the Tide standing in front. That early in the game, you cannot really defend the towers without, yeah, losing a couple of heroes to the Tide Ravage or whatever, and they can just back off after that. So I think it's...
Is it also that the Tidehunter also can farm Ancients really easily, right?
Yeah, and he's so strong against carries on the lane, especially. Like, for example, if you... I saw was there other... Yesterday when someone played like this... I think it was Navi who played Disruptor and Void against the Tidehunter, and like those kind of lanes for Tidehunter, it's... Yeah, he has the best game of his life, pretty much, and yeah. But I think, to me, it seems like a team like IG doesn't really seem to play as much like that as well. It seems to be a European way of playing right now, which is quite funny because it used to be the other way around. Like, the Chinese used to revolve around these team fight heroes, and now the yeah, some of them are playing really aggressive Dota.
In that draft, we're missing a very key hero, in my opinion, which is Brewmaster. It has been ignored by both teams. I mean, understandably so for Fnatic, because he's already facing 2 really reliable Zables versus him, but I think it could be a really good pick for EG, and I wonder if Arteezy plays that hero. I'm not sure.
I highly doubt that they're going to pick that. I think the Mason is going to play the Doom, and then Universe on the Tide, and then Bane is probably PBD, and they usually run these 4 fighter heroes, and then Arteezy gets a farmer hero.
All right.
And it's not likely that he would pick up the Panda.
Okay.
So if there was no Doom or no Tide, then perhaps like Mason would play one.
He does play the hero that plays Panda in that team,
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't play it on the mid.
No, he doesn't.
All right.
We see IG, for example, as I said before, playing this really aggressive pushing lineups. Now we see the Enigma and the Venomancer with the wards. There is a lot of potential for Fnatic to go for the heavy push. Against the Tidehunter, Doom and Vayne, there's not much wave clearance. Maybe is it the right choice to go? Get some Shadow Shaman going in there.
For sure, I think especially the heroes really suits Fnatic as a team. I know that Fly is a great Enigma player, and he really loves that hero. As I mentioned before, Trixie really likes that Venomancer pick, but the thing is, you can always switch it around if you want, and I love these heroes that you can put pretty much on any lane. You can even put the Venomancer mid if it's up against a hero that will pretty much dominate this lane. You just put Venom mid, just spam the wards. He can't really gank you, they can't really pressure you, and it's hard to gank him, as I said, so.
That's true. Also, I remember that in your first game versus Cloud9 yesterday, I don't know if you remember that.
It was a long time ago.
And
he's an old man these days.
So, exactly. My memory is getting a bit...
Don't worry, you'll be like Paul one day.
Yeah, another 2 years.
It gets better, right?
But you guys went like really all in this. You had a lot of initiators to the point where last pick you went Clockwork for Bulldog, if I'm correct. Sometimes it feels like some teams decide to go for, okay, this team has a vulnerability, let's go with 5 heroes that can affect that vulnerability. While some teams are like, we get 1 or 2 heroes that counter and then the rest things will be more balanced.
Yeah, well, I think it's more like when you face a team that plays really greedy, it really pays off to have like 5, like today when we play against IG, you have 5 heroes that can pretty much do a lot in early, mid and late game, so they will just never let you relax pretty much.
Oh wow.
Oh my, I have faced this, if I guess correctly, it will probably be, actually now...
No, Razor last pick.
Actually, no, I don't really know. They usually tend to do like Venomancer and Undying off lane just to like ruin the lane for the safe lane, but I'm not really sure. I mean,
so yeah, basically right now I think Fnatic's analysis, like, they have nothing to outpush EG, like they really have nothing to clear a wave unless they commit to it. So and Fnatic will try to siege with the Venomancer and the Enigma. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. I'm not saying it's going to be enough, but they might get a pusher as their 5th pick, and then they're good to go.
I think so. I think they're going to pick up either something like Pugna or Razor, and then it's going to be a core Undying, I think. Core Undying and Veno and Shaker and Enigma are the
I think it's going to be like a carry.
I think it's going to be like this Undying against these 3 strength heroes. He's going to just...
Pugna is a really good pick.
He's going to decay everyone.
Pugna would suit this lineup for sure.
What do you build on core Undying these days? I mean, if you get some farm, what do you go for?
Just early game items.
Do you really want to bring the game to a late game with Undying?
No, not really. That's the thing. So
I'll
try to end it.
I could see a pipe.
I don't even know because
the Scepter is actually pretty good right now.
It's kind of good. But I mean, I would suppose he would even go for a Pudge, maybe
really
like
pipe.
Yeah.
I think Razor is a good pick here for Fnatic.
I mean, that TA is it's a very risky pick though, because it's obviously super bad versus Veno and Undying. I mean, sort of. I mean, it's really good versus Undying, but it dies to the early game. Into the Tombstone and the Veno ward, it's going to be really hard for Arteezy. They're looking to a mid-game, late-game fight.
I just have no idea how they're going to lane this. I think, was it Fnatic that did a Shaker offlane once?
They just roam around with Hani, I guess.
No, Fnatic does the Quelling Blade on Earthshaker on No Tail. He just... Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, but sometimes Hani plays it as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's correct.
Yeah,
we were talking about that today. Yeah, that's also true.
We've seen a Void in lane. I like this. This is actually really cool.
Well, what do you know? The Meepo is back again. Does it work the second time round? We're about to find out. Hold on to your seats, everyone, at the Commerce Bank Arena and at home. It's the 3rd and final game of the semi-final. It's Evil Geniuses versus Fnatic. Let's join our commentators.
Yes, welcome back, everyone. EG versus Fnatic. It is our final deciding game. Malini, it's been a fun run. And we have ourselves a very unique draft coming into our final game.
I think Meepo's going to be set up for success this game.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
You're not concerned about like the burst damaging TA, the melt coming in, having them all group up and getting Sideblade attack damage coming through? You're not worried about this at all?
I'm concerned about TA getting any sort of farm and having any impact on the fights.
Yeah.
I think she's going to get rocked. I think there were a lot of better options out for EG. Ember Spirit, I think most notably. Too, especially since Ferrari has shown so much success with it. They could have done like a Naga Siren, which Arteezy is well known for too. So I don't have much faith in the TA, but they are on Dire's side.
And I have faith in the TA's custom set. That's what I have faith in. It's a really sexy set coming out there from Arteezy. But yeah, right now, let's have a quick run through from our lineup. Actually, you may not even try and do this one because we won't have a lot of time. Now, normally, okay, we've talked about this time and time again. You run an Enigma, you expect the enemy to go through your jungle, ward it all up, so you can't control anywhere. But when you throw an Undying into the mix, this completely changes everything, because Undying is really, really powerful when you run him as an aggro tri-laner. He just changes the balance of absolutely everything. And when you got a Venomancer already up there too, that's going to be like, where do we find our lanes? Like Fnatic, they run Hani as the Earthshaker. He normally roams. He has no lane which he says this belongs to me kind of thing. So I'm interested to see where Fnatic really settle into their lanes after their early movement.
So what exactly are they going to do for lanes? Hani starting off with boots first.
I got a feeling this is just going to be a Hani block. He's going to throw a Fissure here, hold it back for Trixie, and then Trixie plays the off lane with Fly. So they try and run a dual lane out here with high-level Gale, and Trixie has done this in the past too, where he actually doesn't go Plague Ward straight up. He may do it on just 2 levels, but then he'll try and go Poison Sting as well as Venomous Gale as high as he possibly can, and then they just try and find kills.
I must say that Fnatic plays this Earthshaker and Meepo very, very well, though. Hani always looks out for Excalibur's needs and protects him as much as possible.
The one that got away. The one that got away.
He purposely did that.
Did he?
Yeah.
To let the range creep die?
Yeah. I watched him block. And it looked very intentful.
Well, the creep wave still holds in the perfect position. Are they in trouble? Oh, he's trying to run a safe on the bottom, but now they're going to go in deep. The Gush already PPD, and Excalibur, he gets a great Earthbind. He's in the corner, salving up. He's underneath the towers, moving himself around PPD with the double damage. He needs to get closer. Excalibur back into the trees, hide in the trees where it's safe. He needs to cut through again. Another one up. He's back in range of his tower. Keeps the run going. PPD brain sap. It's 25 life points. He's still up. Hani, he does have fissure. PPD Excalibur, stay in the trees. He's on the out. He's in. He's safe. He's got Earthbind available. They're coming back down again though. Hellfire Blast off cooldown. Gush as well. Excalibur. He needs extra heal. They don't want him to run out of here because they're not quite sure where the rest of EG are moving at the moment. But he is healing up quickly. And EG, they're on the prowl. They smell blood.
He learned from game one. Game one, he went pro man shield without a salve. This game, he went a salve and it completely saved his life. And if he had to salve game one, he wouldn't have lost the lane so terribly versus Arteezy. So smart pickup by Excalibur, quick to adapt.
Man, I love this as well for, like, as far as decisions in lanes, they put Universe into the lane and they predicted it perfectly, EG. So they get the Tide going up against the Meepo with the support for kills, and they're coming in again. Hellfire Blast, a fissure though from Hani, buying the space. Fiends hit the brains up again. Gush will get the kill. Universe will take it. Hani's on the run out here as well as the Flying Llama, and Zai, he's getting in front for the body block over on Hani. This is really troublesome. Have they got another stun? Brain sap, 1 second. There it is, and it will be enough. He's not in range. They will back themselves up. They couldn't get the kill with it as well. Yeah, but the other lane you see, it's No-Tail going up against Arteezy, and Arteezy is not having himself a fun time here at all.
Yeah, he's getting bullied pretty hard by No-Tail.
He's getting creeps denied, and he can't hold his refraction charges, defensive absorb charges, just because these conversions. The conversions do a crap ton of damage too.
Yeah, nice play from Fnatic, switching things up, and Arteezy went a Wraithman build and not having an early bottle yet. Still doesn't even have the money.
For some reason, Fly has managed to get 3 decay charges over on Mason, bringing a rather tanky Doombringer down to 473 life points. Trixie has free reign on the top lane. The Doombringer's not there. He's been completely zoned out from the Venomancer. And Venomancer, this is when Trixie says, well, okay, Doombringer's having no intention to fight me. His damage is like really, really bad anyway. So let's just get high levels up in Plague Wards, and he should be forcing this top tower. They need this tier 1 tower to come under pressure to force the supports from EG to come off the bottom lane. Now, Nightmare, can PPD get himself in range for this one? It looks like he's just trying to zone out Excalibur. He's almost level
top
3.
lane.
Are they going for it? Well, there's already Tombstone Fly. Body blocking up Mason as well. The Gale's already gone. Mason, TP support's coming in from the Bane. This is what they needed to do. PPD comes in. He's got Nightmare available. There's a lot of poison on Mason, but he's still regenerating up. The Scorched Earth has worn off. He's at a 90 life points. Not looking too healthy. But Fnatic, they get what I was just talking about. They got the response from EG. Now it's a Tide offlane solo.
Yeah, he already has Arcane Boots, though, off the back of the First Blood, and Meepo finally getting some space to breathe, and this is exactly what EG did not want to have to do.
Yeah, they didn't want to have to bring everybody back up again, because this just works for the Undying's favor. You bring more people into a lane, he's got more people he can decay with every single hit, and not have to keep wasting his mana on it.
And you actually see Arteezy have a TP scroll too, so he's ready in case they play over aggressive.
Hani is so close. He doesn't have. Where is his levels? He doesn't have level 2 yet. He can throw a fissure, and that's basically all she wrote. Without the black hole from Enigma with an army of conversions, they can't kill off the TA there.
Yep, Excalibur hitting level 4 and already off to the jungle. Just need to create space for him, and I think Undying's a very, very good hero to do
Trixie,
so.
first stun, and they're going to follow up. You're right, without the Doombringer there, like what is this lane apart from like a passive, we leech some experience and take some farm? Can it do anything else?
Not really, not at this point. It's okay though, they just need to get Roshan, get some levels up. They're not really too concerned about getting kills or fending off this top lane, as long as Mason gets some farm, which he is.
I'm wondering if they can even do Roshan. Like, I know Arteezy's finally caught up on CS. It's 24 for 10 up against 23 for 0 in the middle lane. But For them to actually bring down Roshan is going to be difficult. You're right, Harney. Solo kill. Wait, what? Nightmare. PPD, Mason. 40 life points and running away. PPD's wondering if he should even go for this. TA's rotating in, but Harney walking west where the skies are blue. Back over towards Fly. He can drop Tombstone and protect him if he really requires.
Oh, I thought he was dead for sure.
It looked like he should have been as well, but like he threw the stun out, but never got anything more. I'm actually wondering too if something happened with the pathing then, like he walked in that direction. Zai, he's in trouble. Fly even drops a Tombstone. They're allowing him to dive, which means the Poison Sting and the Venomancer Gale. What level is that? It's only level 1, so it's no damage coming out from the Venomancer Gale. So they're not dropping him anywhere near low enough, but they're going to try and use the Tombstone to at least force out the towers. You got 3 points up in the Plague Walls as well as the Ring of Basilius, but Trixie's actually out of mana.
Yeah, pretty smart for them to sack the lane, but at the same time, Zoom's not actually getting great levels at all. He's only level 3, courtesy of Honey, courtesy of Fly.
Yeah. Man, how aggressive was Fly too? Like you start, like first level Undying, and you're happy to walk all the way over to the very far eastern side of the Dire jungle and battle directly up against a Doombringer. You don't know what aura creep he's going to be picking up, but you just know it as an Undying. You're strong enough to battle him.
Yep, and Arteezy actually losing in CS to
He has caught up. He really has caught up, though. Compared to where he was, this Arteezy is looking a hell of a lot better. But you're right, though. He is getting pretty well snapped as far as like denies go. Yeah,
it's unusual, but this is a very unusual matchup.
Yeah. You wouldn't, like, how long ago was it we saw Enigma as a core in a lane? That was a very, very long time ago. Now, Zai, he's searching for the Meepo. I know top lane's also getting rather close. Fly coming underneath the tower. Gets the first decay out. But the lane I'm really searching for is this one. Universe, Excalibur, Hellfire Blast, Universe. He's got Ravage if he wants to really try and commit the poof. Yeah, you knew he was going to do it. He had to do it if he was going to get himself this kill. Now, middle lane, no tail. He's lost his time in conversions. If he had that, he might have considered throwing at the Black Doll. Yeah, it's top lane. There goes to Decay. The CP support coming in. Rain Step makes him very difficult to kill off, and Flying, he's diving in deep as Arteezy coming in, looking for a kill on Trixie, but Harney just posturing over the Templar Assassin. Trixie will TP himself back out to safety, and of course, so will Harney. Where is he running? He's coming down looking for a kill on Fly. They still haven't got a kill for this rotation right now. They've lost the Bane. Fly popping the stick charges. He's going to try and deny himself up right now. The status will come out, denying not going to happen. Arteezy's able to get the last hit in.
Pretty unfortunate that it's a Satyr creeps. Those don't do enough damage to kill him, especially with the, with those stick charges. Well, still, I think Fnatic very, very good in this early game. Forcing TA to rotate from the lane and only get 1 kill on a support Undying. They're not getting any high priority targets in. Meepo has died twice, but he's still getting pretty good levels, and pretty unusual to see him pick up a bottle in the side lane.
There's the answer to my question. Only the second time during this patch Enigma goes towards the mid lane solo.
Yeah, it used to be pretty popular, like a few...
Yeah, you took like a year ago. It's like a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there was some times when he was played as an off-laner. Like, I think there was like a 1 week period when they were running like Lich and Enigma off-lane. It was like the double deny phase. But that was like really, really bad those days. Yeah, I'm glad they're behind us.
It sounds so good in theory though, Toby.
It really, really does. Like, things on paper look really, really good. And then you like you make a mold of it and it's like all of a sudden not as great.
Universe has a Blink Dagger.
Already?
Yeah. 8 minutes in.
Wow, that's a lot of... He's got 46 for 1. No wonder. And look at him where he's going back to base. There's not enough mana for him to do much more. Templar Assassin. Arteezy just prepping some traps. Look at him come down. He's farming up the conversions. That's what he's focusing on. But now the Black Hole will go. Excalibur, he's bringing friends. More Meepos, which means more Neds with the Black Hole control. Templar Assassin. The Sentry Ward's there, so he can't hide inside of Meld. And he knew it too well up on top lane. Mason's being dove. Fly is here. Nightmare will stop him. Take it off him so Fly can attack. Another Decay. He's getting stunned up. He can't finish the job. Mason, the Scorcher's keeping up. And the Pack Wolf Aura really doing some work. The Venomans are focusing the wards. And they're able to get a return kill here. And that Tombstone's not making it any easier either. Maybe they can finish the job. Excalibur and now No-Tail forcing the tier 1 tower. Universe, he's watching and waiting in the wings. He needs 2 seconds for Templar Assassin to come up. You know he wants to jump, and there's your TP. Zai might die now, but we'll stick with the middle lane. There goes Excalibur trying to poof out. He poofs only to his secondary Meepo. It's not far enough, but the Earthbind holds him there. Fly comes in. Decay's over on 2. And Excalibur will escape with the Meepo, but then No Tail can't get out. The Ravage will stop his TP, and Templar Assassin will mop up the rest, but they lost their tier 1 tower in mid. And Zai looks like he died underneath his own tier 1 tower. What happened up there, man?
Just got ticked down to poison. He used a stun, and then he didn't have enough mana for reincarn. So Trixie eventually will get that T1 tower, and that's pretty bad for EG. They can't afford to lose 2 towers this early, and this will really limit their ability to control Roshan.
And this is going to be one hell of an up and down game if it keeps going the way it already has, and we're only 10 minutes into it so far. Man, Universal Control though, I love the way he was waiting for it. Like, he knew what he wanted. He was watching Arteezy's like time dead, waiting for him to come back alive again. And Excalibur, the fact he's got that help coming in. We've seen the Earthshaker really being used perfectly by the Chinese teams as well. And Hani, very experienced with it as well.
He's only level 3 though.
Yeah, he needs a lot more, man. I'm wondering if they can even give him some space in the bottom lane. Like if they can make some space in the bottom lane. But I suppose this is also the downside about when you run a Meepo. He does soak up a lot of the map. Now, bottom lane, Zai, the Gale's going to hit. He does have Reincarnate this time around, but the Tombstone, okay, no stuns. That's a bit of a problem with the lineup when you commit like that. But they did manage to make him TP out. The Enigma Reds come to the bottom lane with a headdress on the creep wave. They're going to try and force out the tower. The creep wave's not going to go too far, but they don't have Tombstone available for this. And Universe, while he does have Blink Dagger, he doesn't want to jump in too close. Maleficent can cause him a lot of problems here.
I like what Fnatic's doing though. Constantly pressuring towers, forcing them to keep their eyes off of Excalibur. And see, PBD, pretty smart move here.
If it pays off though. Like you can try and pincer, but at the same time, Hani, he's the one to get caught out to start with. But and again, Arteezy doesn't really feel like he's got enough movement speed. Now PPD, he can fiend script this one, and he does from the high ground. He's buying the space. Mason's on his way in. Look at that meld hit. No Tail has a lot of trouble. Hani, he's got Fissure available. He's going to block the path right now, and he does actually throw it down, but he doesn't actually block it, which means now Arteezy is free to follow up Hani, and he will do so. Meld hit hurts like a truck from Arteezy. Another TA trap around the side. Gives it some time so he gets the full slow. One more attack from Arteezy, and he's got the kill on Hani. TP comes in from Fly, but it's already too late. The damage has been done. Speaking of that, a lot of damage being pushed on the top lane. That's the 3 Meepo team going to work up there, while Trixie is going to work on the bottom lane. And making it really difficult.
With the haste in mid.
Oh, Fly. Tombstone, he had to do it straight away, but he's dead. He is dead. Soul Rip, maybe not fully dead, into the Undying Ultimate, but PPD manages to make him waste that Undying Ultimate too. Enigma does have Black Hole available. Hani with Fissure, they just use the Malefice and the Conversions. They're trying to get high enough up, but PPD, the Fissure's actually blocked him out. They can't follow him, we're going to pause. The entire Fnatic lineup, DC's out.
Well, luckily, I don't think anything would have mattered there since that Fissure block.
Yeah, but that's one of those moments too, like if PPD was just an inch to the left, it would have actually pulled him back in again. And you can see the Conversions. I actually thought the Conversions could have moved to the wall and attacked from the wall.
I saw Zai with a snicker there.
It's like, well, the game was easy. Not that easy though. Yeah, and Fnatic, they're still making those plays though. But that TA, he's getting bigger. He's getting bigger, and that's probably something we should look at for the Templar Assassin. Is 3 for 1 on Arteezy. His CS was shut down pretty early on, but he gets 3 for 1, 61 for 4, running ahead of Midas. Has got level 11, 13 or so minutes into the game. He's getting a lot coming in for that Templar Assassin.
Yeah, they have double Midases. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to deal with the Meepo, though. Meepo 0, 2, and 1, but still playing very elusively around the map and getting a lot of farm. And most importantly, Fnatic's getting towers.
Yeah. And that's really going to hurt him too. Like when you get Tombstone, Plague Wards, as well as Meepo, like that's map control and the ability to force things. Like Undying, forcing high ground, it's a lot more possible. Like when he can bring it, when you look towards like mech and you have pipe up and running, you throw Tombstone down, you got a lot more meat shields to allow you to get up towards that high ground. I suppose the main problem is still going to be Blink Tide Ravage. And the fact that one of your cores, you feel like you can go up there, Fiend Script is still going to be also a massive problem as well.
Yeah, and Enigma getting his black holes is going to be extremely, extremely difficult.
But he's going to need some more items before like that's really going to be possible. Like finishing the mech is stage 1.
Yes.
Like
then he's
you're going to need like BKB. He kind of needs both.
Yeah, I think they can create enough pressure with the Veno, with the Earthshaker, with the Undying and Meepo that he can probably get a safe one off later. Just be patient.
I love the fact that someone's going to read mod.de sign there. It's a shame the guy who was running that he actually left earlier today. But yeah, shout out to that guy that's out there. and Fnatic, they must be discussing their current situation.
Yeah, Honey looks a little displeased.
Yeah. Well, this is going to really upset the momentum as well. Like, Fnatic, they might be feeling like they're the ones who are in control right now. Like, when you're 12 minutes in, you manage to take out every single Tier 1 tower, you're going to be feeling pretty damn good about yourself.
It's all about the Roshan, though. Meepo, he lives off Roshans. He needs it. He just is so susceptible, and if they blow enough ultimates and you have an Aegis, you'll just completely win the fight and push off of that. So,
but if we hypothetically try and talk about how Fnatic would take Roshan,
or prevent EG from doing it.
Or prevent EG from doing it. Like, preventing EG from doing it, I see being a lot better. Like, between Fissure, Venomancer, Ulti, as well as Tombstone with Black Hole, that's a lot of controlling abilities, not to mention all the Earthbinds which come out from Meepo. The major problem I'm seeing is EG still have one of the best teamfight controllers in the game. That's the Tidehunter. And if TA traps are set up beforehand, they'll have early warning notice, so you'll have to Sentry Ward, which is already going to reveal the fact that Fnatic is coming over. So you got problems with that. You can have Bane who can use high ground, because when Fnatic try and breach in towards the base, you've still got two high ground ramp areas which EG can manipulate with the Bane. So he can get a Fiend's Grip off without Fnatic able to get close enough to actually stop him as well. And what they definitely don't need is a Shiva Ravage. That would have a lot of problems. That would have a lot of problems if EG do that. Then Fnatic will walk over them.
A Universe rarely chokes in those sort of situations, and Fnatic, they really don't have a good solution to the Tidehunter Ravage. He's almost always going to be able to get it off. Especially with a weak hero like Earthshaker, especially with Hani falling a little bit behind in the early game in terms of levels and experience. He really needs a Blink Dagger if they want to win team fights.
I'm wondering if he's even going to try and rush the Blink Dagger now, or if he just tries to go for Arcane Boots, realizing that like Fissure spam and also giving mana. Like Undying doesn't have Arcane Boots either right now, so they're both going to need like large portions of mana to keep this fight going all the time. Even Trixie's going to need some help. Like he's got Arcane Boots as well. Like, that's going to be something for the team, but they're going to need more if they're going to try and also, like fight from range. If you'd even try and do that, would you actually try and do, like this Fissure spam from range?
Not really. They don't have that great pick. So
it's like, yeah, if they had like a Mirana pickup, like with like arrows to fly out or things like this, then yeah, maybe they would actually have something, because then we look more like what IG or VG Gaming were attempting to do earlier in this competition. That would be one way to try it.
Yeah, but in this particular game, I still think they need to keep up the pressure, though, and it's really difficult when you cast one Fissure and you have to go home for a mana. So yeah, I think having Arcane Boots is important, because they have Undying on their team. Undying, he starts to level off 20-25 minutes, I'd say, and Fly's been doing a fantastic job, but his time to shine is almost gone.
I think I just heard in my ear, too, that I think the panel want to have a bit more of a chat about this game while we're halfway through it. So let's throw back over the Paul and the boys, where we have ourselves a bit of a pause here and see what they have to say.
Thanks very much, Toby. Yeah, we're back at the desk and just going to fill up some time while the guys get reset up down there on the stage. Unfortunately, I think they've had a couple of issues to sort out, so we'll get those fixed for them as soon as we possibly can. Gives us a bit of a chance to chat. Loader, what do you think of the game? I mean, you know, Toby says it's halfway through, is it?
Yeah, it's an interesting game for sure. I think the thing I would like to point out is that Fnatic put Enigma mid, which I would never have expected. He did very well as well against the TA, but as a Dota player, if you play this game a lot, you kind of know that Enigma 1-on-1 is actually very, very strong and shouldn't be underrated. At the same time, yeah, as Toby said, I think that Fnatic is kind of playing against the clock, and I think that their strategy will kind of phase out. They don't have a super much disables. They have like a Fissure, they have the Echo Slam, of course. Yeah, and then they have the Meepo. But I think that EG has a good draft against Meepo, and I think that they have a good team fight and everything. And I think that if EG just is able to defend the towers and not make too many mistakes, they should have this game.
Okay, so late game looks like it's EG's. So Fnatic presumably got to do something, got to force something soon.
Yeah, and it's pretty difficult when their Shakers, he's low level, he doesn't have any farm whatsoever. He's not going to get a blink anytime soon. The Undying, he's also struggling to get something done. And the Meepo, he can get solo ravaged, and that's fine, because it's the only guy they need to kill. It's the only guy who is actually going to have any somewhat like late game impact on this game. Maybe the Venomancer, if he can get a lot of items fast, but it doesn't seem very likely right now, because they can't really take down any towers, it seems.
Yeah, Bruno, second time in the 3 games that we've seen the Meepo with Excalibur, and it's not really working out, is it? Why?
I mean, it's not the Meepo's fault. I mean, you saw that first attempt of First Blood in the tower. Those jukes were amazing.
They were great.
He clearly knows how to play the hero.
Yeah.
However, it's just so hard to play around those heroes. Sometimes people are, is this hero viable? Is this hero not viable? I think every hero is viable. It's just like sometimes you have to build around them so much that it leaves you to just one possibility, and if that window is closed, you cannot do anymore. And that's what's happening to Fnatic right now. The window closed, and not because everyone disconnected, but rather because their time is running out.
Oh wow, that's so BM right there.
Yeah.
That's so BM. Did you see the Brazilian flag?
Yeah.
So BM for an Argentinian.
We'll see at the World Cup.
Oh.
To meet you at the final, Brazil.
Oh, okay. And the World Cup banter enters the desk stage. Seb.
Well, you wouldn't know.
No, I wouldn't know. No, I don't talk to us three up here. These guys never even qualified, and we're terrible. So
how many people do we have in our country?
More than we do, that's for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. You have Ibrahim Zlatan.
Yeah, we have one guy.
We have one guy.
We have one player.
Yeah. We rely on him and we hype him, and he's very good. But it's
He
like,
sometimes wins alone.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
But it's like a team game, so
Yeah.
he shouldn't be able to.
So when this stadium hosted a World Cup last,
Yeah.
England won 1-0 against Paraguay. How did Argentina get on?
I think we drew.
Yeah.
Which is better than a loss.
It's the only one small claim I've got against him right now.
But
It's
what,
very thin.
what happened to England that year? After that?
I don't know. There was some sort of Argentinian cheating team that made their way through or something. I don't
I
know.
just remember something with the hand.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, no, that was 86.
That was 86.
Yeah, that was 86. Yeah.
Do you really remember?
I mean, you have to understand that. I mean, I'm sorry, Puppy, but the best Chen player in the world was Argentinian with his hand of God.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah. Points. I'm laughing inside.
Yeah.
Points.
Score draw. Okay, Seb, what did you think of the half that we may have seen from Game 3?
I do have to say that I agree with what has been said about the Fnatic lineup and the EG's lineup, but it's on the other hand it's hard to fight versus Fnatic because it's hard, to assess the real damage they have with all the the Venogale, the poison, whatever. You have to know what level they have. So basically you're diving into their lineup, and it's really hard. And pro players, they usually know how much, to the millisecond, how much they can stay in and how do they have to go back. And here it's really hard.
Yeah.
But they do have. I know I sound kind of obsessed with the Roshan, but Lanaya on the Dire side, they're gonna get that, I guess, for sure at one point. He one medallion plus the Lanaya, they're gonna be able to sort of rush, and that's gonna come into play in my opinion.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break at the desk here. It is, of course, my first ever Dota event, and I'm enjoying it immensely, so thank you for everyone that's given me some kind comments. Thanks for the terrific games as well. Alliance among them last night was absolutely incredible, so I felt really blessed to be here for the first Dota event. It's also someone else's first official Dota event, and that's Capitalist, and right now he's with Zoe. Thanks, yeah, a brand new meta. It's the casting snowball effect. MWP, most wanted. Yeah, I mean, it's great to have a guy like that who's been really passionate about the game. He's been commentating for a while now to come to his first event, and it's this one of all events. I mean, it can't get much better.
Imagine if that was my first event back in the day.
How would you feel?
It would be awesome. I mean, this event is just so great. Playing in front of this audience is just a new feeling for sure, and yeah. Nothing to say. It's just amazing.
When you played down there, Are you aware of the crowd? I mean, obviously you can see them, but are you aware, or are you so zoned into the match that you just kind of filter it out?
Sure, you're very aware of them before the game, and I mean, I remember yesterday when I played against Cloud9, the last game, I kind of looked up at one point and suddenly it was pitch black.
Right.
So sometimes, I mean, it's good if you're not aware of too much of what they're doing, but yeah, sure, it's a cool feeling.
Yeah, because I mean, I think for some players it affects people differently, doesn't it? I mean, some players will just be like, oh my god, there's so many people I'm trying to zone it out.
How am I going to look? How am I
and then other people are like yourself, you go out and you go, this is so cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, I like that a lot. We haven't touched on it too much, but weather effects. And Bruno and I had this weird discussion on Friday about the fact that we're playing in what is effectively an open air arena. It's got a roof, but it is open air. You can feel the elements, you can feel the rain in the air when it rains. What was it like for you? I mean, we've just seen the guys down there saying it's very cold.
Yeah.
Don't want to wrap up the water.
It was quite cold this morning for us as well.
Right.
Maybe they could have some kind of heater or something close by behind the PCs, but yeah, just bring an extra shirt and it's no worries, I would say.
Yeah, but it's a different environment, isn't it? I mean, rather than, we always play indoors and then suddenly you come here and it's maybe in the last thing you think of it, you suddenly think, oh yeah, we're kind of in the open air. Maybe, we have to think about that next time.
Yeah, I got more happy for sure when the sun started to show itself instead of the grey sky. So it does affect everyone, I think, a little bit.
Yeah,
but I'm used to it. You're from
Sweden?
Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We hate it. People always think like, oh, you're from Sweden, you love the cold and the rain. We're like, no, nobody loves the cold, nobody loves the rain. That's how it is.
You just put up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're better at putting up with it, because I know from being in England, a centimetre of snow falls and it's like chaos everywhere.
Yeah, but like London, it rains every day.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too disparaging about my home country, but it does rain a little bit back home. Yeah, a little bit more than it does probably in Sweden. Okay, it's a break time right now, and obviously it's going to affect the players. We know that it does. Some react to it better than others. What are your thoughts on Fnatic and EG mentally right now?
It's all about the talks that the players must be having right now. I mean, I don't see Fnatic on the stage right now, and probably because they're getting the things fixed. EG is still there. They're kind of hanging out. But this is the really interesting part, because right now they're like, okay, what's going on? What do we know? What should we do better? And sometimes in game it's really, really hard to get communication alone because you're all focused on your own thing. Yeah. So this pause, whoever makes the most out of it will come with an advantage in the next 2 to 5 minutes in the game.
Bruno, can I ask you, Bruno, what do you think about this pause? Would you say that this could be perhaps a pause of some sort of animal pause?
Like a Franker Z pause?
Yeah, something like that.
I
could
mean,
it perhaps?
Like
is this a puppy pause? That's what I'm asking, Bruno.
When that, it's obviously, and actually this is actually the perfect example of what Merlini was talking about. Sometimes you don't want to make a pause, and in this case obviously they didn't want to, but it's inevitable that you're going to take a tactical advantage out of that. So this pause is officially a puppy pause right now.
There is one thing though, I'm afraid, and it's for Fnatic. The last time they had to face such a pause in a tournament, it was actually in EMS1, and they were facing Vici Gaming, and it was a very close series, and their rhythm was completely broken by the pause. They just would let themselves lose the game, and it was really the case, and they were very frustrated about that. So I hope they learn from that, and they will come back even stronger.
Okay, how do you cover those pauses when things happen like this and it's annoying?
I think these pauses are really annoying. It interrupts the game flow, and I think if Fnatic seem to be in a bit of a tricky position now, it can be difficult. But I hope that they can use this pause to their advantage and try to find a way that, okay, maybe we can still salvage this game and they can come up with some good plan and make use of that.
You guys in Alliance always seem pretty chilled when this sort of stuff happens. Is that the truth, or is it like inside you're like, damn it?
I don't know. We actually hate pauses. Like, we detest pausing. We get so angry when we're just playing a scrim and somebody pauses right away. We get like, can we just play the game?
Shout out to Final, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to mention that, because I mean, as you guys said, like sometimes you sit and there's a pause and you sit. I mean, the Final pause was a bit shorter than this one, I would say. It was more about what is going on? Bam, let's go. But as everyone has been mentioning, it's like so frustrating when a pause like this happens, because for example, let's say Fnatic has this momentum, they know exactly what to do, and EG is like a bit pressed under pressure. Now EG can just sit down like, oh, what can they do in this game? We have the better late game, we have Roche on our side. What can Fnatic do to screw up for us right now. So I think for EG should have the upper hand when it comes to this boss for sure. Okay. Someone who wants to push, doesn't really want to let the other team think about what they can do.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to take a break here at the desk, but we will be back as soon as we possibly can with the resumption of Game 3. Don't go too far away. You're live and tuned in to the Commerzbank Arena, ESL 1, Frankfurt 2014. Welcome back to ESL 1 Frankfurt, where the crowd are currently waiting in anticipation for our third and final game. How are you doing out there, crowd? Pretty good by the sound of it. Glad you're enjoying yourself. It has been a fantastic weekend of Dota 2. We still have the grand final to come, and of course the resumption of our semi-final. Back on the desk once more. Just quickly, I think we're close to getting ready to go. In fact, we are ready to go live. So you know what? I'm not even going to talk to you guys. I'm ignoring you from now on. Let's go back to the commentary team for the resumption of Game 3.
Well, thank you very much. We're actually back in the game right now. They've already resumed the match, and we are underway. 13 minutes, we come back in at 9-4. in favor of EG right now. And of course, Merlini, if we do a bit of a rough catch-up, what are we really sitting at position-wise?
In terms of just what happened, Honey just blocked off PBD recently just got a kill on Undying. In terms of overall game flow, Undying and Earthshaker quickly going to fall off. They don't have that much experience. They don't have that much farm, and they're just going to be food if they get caught in Ravage later. So they need to make plays in the next few minutes. Meepo died 2 times early, getting a lot of space now, level 11 in that department.
Oh, good fish. This could be a chance for Templar Assassin. I'm on Templar Assassin, but they don't really have any other commitment. There was no one else behind him. Meepo is in no range. And he still hasn't finished up the Aghanim Scepter, and we're not looking at the Blink Dagger just yet.
Yep, and 2 Midas up on EG, and definitely eyeing Roshan with TA. And they're looking for any opportunity that they can to take down those towers or just sneak in a Roshan.
I'm interested to see if like EG just goes straight in for it. I know like you already got Ravage up and running, but you don't have the mech up for Universe just yet, so you don't have that extra security when you try and have a crack at it. So I would still be very, very cautious and make sure there's some really good warding up beforehand. And yeah, you're actually seeing it already. Actually, no, you're not. He doesn't see it until he walks up. There we go. Now he'll see there's a dire observer ward there, and we'll get rid of this as quickly as possible because of the sentry ward up on the cliff. They have got to make sure that EG have no vision around that pit, so they always feel scared to go in.
A lot of it is on Trixie too. He's around that bottom lane. They know they need him there for the level 4 Plague Wards, and it's scouting out the Ancients right now. He has eyes on 2 of the heroes doing it, and of course, just constantly putting at Roshan, so EG can't sneak in. They can't do it that fast right now because they don't actually have any item. TA just recently completed her treads. They don't have any minus armor other than Gush.
Yeah, I don't think they can even consider... Oh, Trixie! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Too far up right now. Enigma's going to come in the black hole. It's going to go on 2 with a Ravage from Universe. Perfectly timed. And what was going to be a 1-hero feed turns into 2.
This is really bad. They can't afford to lose this bottom tower. And on top of that, when those 2 heroes respawn, they don't have black hole.
Look at them checking the corners. They're searching for Hani. Hani also, by the way, I know we discussed this one before we went to our break, but no arcane boots. He is looking like he's saving for that Blink Dagger instead.
It's just so risky. If he doesn't get his Blink Dagger, if he dies like even 1 time in the next 5 minutes or before he gets his Blink Dagger, it's going to set his team back a lot, especially as you said before, Undying doesn't actually have arcane boots.
Yeah, he's actually pretty close to it though. And one thing we didn't really take into consideration was the fact that both Enigma and Undying do have it. Now, Universe in the bottom lane. Hani, what do you give for a totem? He hasn't got even 1 point up in it. And now you'll have to throw the fissure out. Universe, he just crackens and runs away. And, well, Malefice done. Won't come to TP. And look at it with the Midnight Pulse as well. They're ensuring the damage. It's actually Midnight Pulse which gets the kill. At the same time, they get the kill on the Tidehunter. And maybe they can find a little bit more of an opening. Meepo was pushing out the top. But one thing which they are not ready for is the fact that EG do have Roshan. Zai was taking it up. And now Nightmare as well on Fly will keep him a little bit further away from the engagement. But Aegis Immortal is into the hands of EG.
And again, Trixie really dies at inopportune times. I think his offlane play is probably a lot worse than a lot of the offlaners at this event. And you just can't die in that sort of situation. He was caught completely off guard. They tried to save him with a defensive fissure. They tried to save him with a black hole, and it cost them a Roshan.
Yeah, at that point, like I would have said, it's just okay. Trixie came out a little bit too far. You just cut your losses. Like you just accept the fact that he goes down. Trixie sometimes does that because he plays, I won't say very much like Sexy Bamboo or Good Gale with a Malefice stun and Midnight Pulse as well. Templar is having a hard time getting out of this one with new conversions and the Tombstone going down. Fissure, Riptide, they got a Soul Rip going in and they're going to kill up the TA. That means the Aegis Immortal, which has only just been claimed, has already gone down. Trixie, he might commit the Venomancer all of it at the moment. Sentry Wall is down, there's nowhere to hide. Dust as well, Masoning close. He got gunked up as well by that Veno ulti, and now Big Daddy in close. Good Fissure, they got Templar Assassin locked, they get the kill. They're moving west as well. PPD out of TP out in time as Universe will retreat back to his tier 2 town, but this tier 2 town in the bottom lane is forfeit.
And we just see how useless TA is when Veno actually gets a Gale on him. What's he supposed to do? He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He will have a BKB at some point or another, maybe a Desolator, but still, he's just going to get kited all day. And this is without Meepo in the equation.
And man, Meepo has been on the top lane farming the entire time. You give him a tower, boost up that gold. It will not be long before that Blink Dagger comes online. This is nothing like the Meepo we saw earlier during this set of games. This is a Meepo that actually makes you fearful.
Yeah, definitely. And the gamble by Hani paying off.
Yeah, he waited it out. I'm still surprised, like, not even 1 point up in Enchantado. Do you like this one, considering you're basically throwing away an extra stun?
You'll see, I think, most often Earthshaker get 2 or 3 points in Aftershock. Level 1 Aftershock is actually pretty poor. Even though they did buff it recently, it's not really worth using that much. And Enchant Totem, obviously, level 1 doesn't do that much damage. You mostly use it for the stun at low levels. It's okay.
So you just let it go then. Oh, nice little Nightmare up on top lane. Excalibur bouncing it off Meepos. He fears oxygen. Throwing at the net, unable to get anything, and Hardy, well, he's looking for an opening, and they're probably already forcing one. Trixie's here in the middle lane with Notal, adding a lot of pressure to the tier 2 tower, and again the Gal comes, but this time Zai gets the stun over on Trixie. He's got a lot of stun and a lot of life points, but Universe, Ravage, it'll be enough. The Meg comes in right now for Universe. This might be enough to keep him alive. A Fly in very close. He got 3 people on that decay, that's why he's so tanky, but he will go down. The Tombstone couldn't help, and now you're Black Hole! It gets 4 of them with him in that pot for the Fiend's Grip! The bait from PPD! He saves the life points of EG, and now Notal will go down as well. Fnatic will lose 4 right now. They've got enough, maybe they don't. Blink, they off cooldown 1 second, then they've got it. Zai lost his ultimate, and there's just done double kill for Zai. Nepo is the only one to survive through all of that. But what positioning from PPD, the savior grip.
Yeah, another time he just wraps around in this really, really unexpected position.
You don't even know how he got there. He's just like having a wander around, thinking maybe through the back line when you're being pressured up from your own jungle with Meepo. Props.
But look at Meepo now. 20 minutes, Axe, Blink Dagger, and some more, and he's very, very close to getting 3rd level of Divided We Stand. So EG have been winning these fights pretty convincingly, but at the same time, Excalibur, maybe around this time, a 2nd Roshan, and if he gets that Aegis, oh my goodness, EG's in for a lot of trouble.
I wouldn't want to call GG straight away, but if Venomancer can disable up the Templar Assassin straight away, then yeah. Like, what's even the Doombringer meant to be doing in these engagements? He comes in and dooms up, what, Enigma? Venomancer will probably be the best target. I think they're going to get rid of that Venomancer ulti, but that's it's only level 1. And looks like they got an opening. Fidget to Mason, but he's far enough away. He's okay. But this tier 2 tower is forfeit. Like, EG tried to defend this before, and it cost them dearly. And they did manage to get 1 opening, at least they managed to balance it out. But right now, Fnatic, they just got too much pressure adding in here with Plague Ward to conversions. EG does not want to come close to this. And they're still trying to find more farm on Zai. Looks like he's trying to get his own BKB up and running.
This is going to be a constant problem for EG. They can't fight into the Eidolons and the Plague Wards, and it's going to be a big factor for like the next 15 minutes or so. What are they supposed to do? Run in with TA? Instant refraction, all gone? That's not going to happen.
Are you ready?
Radiant's top tower
is your body prepared?
Oh yeah.
It looks like EG's modding is prepared. Fnatic, 100% of the heroes are missing on the lane right now. Even Meepo is not showing himself on any of the lanes, and EG, they're fearful. They also back up. So no team has any vision of either of them, like either team right now. But of course, this just plays into Fnatic's hands because the lanes are already in their favor. Now, middle lane, the Fidget off target. Doesn't actually connect there. And the Gale also wafted down the middle lane. Battling once again up against the air here, Fnatic.
Yeah, I think he would have been okay. His refraction was already up prior to that fight. So Fnatic, again, still trying to bring the fight to EG and prevent EG from getting any towers at all. If they can prevent them from doing that in the next 5 or 10 minutes, they'll never be able to get them.
I'm watching a lot of movement right now, and well, EG, they're going to try and find something, and they got something too. Excalibur first hit. Fiend's Grip is available right now. Excalibur, he actually proves him, but they get the Fiend's Grip off. Meepo goes down. They do stop his spree, but can they get out this one safely? TPs are already on the way. Zai, Blink Dagger comes off cooldown, back into the wave, but also at the same time, remember, Fnatic have a lot of maneuverability. Fissure, well, where is Honey? He has a Blink Dagger. He could have gone for the Fissure, but decides not to.
Yeah, he's not sure how many people are in, and it's been long enough so that EG's important cooldowns are up.
With Ravage back off cooldown again. And you still got that Meg Tidehunter with just a casual cloak at the moment. It's very difficult to actually kill him off. And without the Meepo, they're missing that quick burst initiation of theirs. And with a full BKB also over on Arteezy, they're looking really good now, EG, for like a fight, if they can find one favorably.
Enigma's closing on his fairly soon too, but as we've seen already, PPD prepared for that. Always looking out for the black hole, always looking to grip him. He's the most important target, perhaps Earthshaker before he gets his blink off, but still, you can't let a 4-man black hole channel for more than a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
So EG needs to get towers, and how are they really going to achieve that? They don't have the best gank, and as we saw, they picked off the most important hero in the Meepo, but still unable to translate that into anything tangible.
They basically need a secondary pick-off on the Meepo. Like, they spent most of the time while the Meepo was down just getting control of their lanes back again. Now, they forced out a lot of movement on the bottom lane, attacking the tier 1 town. Now, fortification's available for Fnatic, but it looks like they're going to let this one go. And there's no trade-off really coming at the moment. EG aren't finding anything anywhere. Because, okay, maybe I take that back. They find Fly and PPD. Like, he could have gone straight in for a Fiend's Grip, and with Zai, they might be able to dish out a lot of damage, but they're really, really concerned of what is backing him up. Because there's still no vision for EG to understand what Fnatic is throwing at them and when and where. A lot of unanswered questions.
They have traps.
They do.
That are pretty well placed, too, by Arteezy.
TPs are coming back right now. Net, that's going to land on Universe. He's still got Ravage and Meg, so the care factor right now of Universe is very, very low. At the same time, like, they still have to be a little bit careful coming that close towards the tower. Fly, okay, just threw down the ward. Zai would have seen that one too, and he gets the Hellfire Blast off. He needs more help though. Fly throws out the Omen. The Fiend's Grip from PPD will reach him, and Mason, well, that level death hits perfectly. They get themselves a kill, and they battle through the Undying Tombstone. Oh, bottom lane, Black Hole, perfect there from NoTal. Universe, he didn't have the Ravage off, and now also Templar Assassin. He BKB to TP out, and could have finished the job. TA and Tide both going down. Tide Ravage was used as well. So it'll be on cooldown for the next push.
That's huge. Nice plays by Excalibur, and finally he's kicking in. He's level 18, he has his blink, and it looks like he's building a Scythe next too. So EG, they can't really split push out. Even TA, very, very vulnerable, BKB or not.
And you'd think for a team that's 17-8 in front right now as far as kill count, be a little bit better, like a little bit like more confident in their engagements. But right now they're still 11,000 experience in front. Gold-wise, about 3,000 also still in front. But it looks like Fnatic are the ones who control everything, and this is kind of like the Meepo effect.
I think you give up next Aegis if you're EG, and it's going to be really, really bad. One bad fight, and it could blow the game wide open. So EG has to be very, very careful about not giving Fnatic that opportunity.
Yes, Zai actually not give it either. He backed off that top lane. The second he felt like Meepo would start moving himself around. But look where Meepo is. He's everywhere. He's in mid. He's up on top. He's farming up in the Radiant jungle. You can't stop this guy from farming and getting to his next item. And you kind of know what it's going to be. It's becoming a lot more favorable over on the Meepo just to go straight into this Skadi of his, unless he's considering a Scythe of Ice. Like, that would be the only one which would toss up at the moment. Unless, like, would you add anything else to the pot?
No, I think the Scythe of Ice is good. He likes Skadi on Meepo too.
What do we got coming in? It actually looks like we got Trixie with, okay, that's a nice little line. Hey, Courier, turn.
It really depends on
there you go, boy.
It really depends on what Excalibur wants to do. If he wants to tank up and just go for brute 5-on-5 engagements, Scotty's much better. If he wants to go for a pick-off.
Excalibur bottom lane, there's your pick-off. BKB TP out right now from Templar Assassin. The damage output is crazy from him. Now the Malibus stump from Big Daddy. He's on the way in, the Fissure block as well. Support can't come down the ramp. PPD, Brainset making him work for it. He moves up a little bit higher. Tombstone Nightmare looking for the denial. Can't do it from that line, and now he will go down. A second kill for Fnatic.
That's the worst possible time for that to happen too. 11 minutes has elapsed, and
yeah,
Meepo with Aegis at this point is
look at him kick in.
Almost game.
He gets Scythe of Ice as well as Aegis. The problem they're having at the moment is like EG is fully aware what's going on. You said they had to give up Roshan. They are not given a choice right now.
Yeah, and now Arteezy can't split push. I still don't understand why they picked TA over the many, many other options.
Yeah, it's something which maybe EG we can ask them at the conclusion of this game why that is the case, because I am dying to know myself. But 17-10 right now on the board. EG, they are losing so much momentum, and it's only going to get worse for them from here on in. They will need an absolute miracle of a fight right now if they are wanting to bring this back in again. Someone out of position. It's like even like the big Ravage isn't enough. You're getting so much money onto this Meepo that and he keeps farming up everywhere too. You're skyrocketing him up. This guy's level 21. The nearest is 16 on the level. That's how far this Meepo is ahead. But you always know the danger of this guy. And the fact they couldn't shut him down, they couldn't have pressure, is just crippled EG even further.
Yeah, it's a completely different story from game one. They had a Faceless Void to keep him in place and almost assuredly kill him every single time. But if you get a Ravage off, even a Ravage and a Doom, he's likely not going to die. And they have Black Hole to protect them. They have Earthshaker to protect them too. So I don't really foresee Meepo struggling in the next 10 minutes.
I love also Hani's selection of items right now. When you think about where the damage is coming out from, having something like a Ghost Scepter means he could probably even get like a secondary stun off during the fights. Not including like his obviously initial 2, which he's throwing out at the moment.
So first time in the game, Fnatic really possessing a great gold lead, or even somewhat of a gold lead.
Looks so controlling from them at the moment. And EG, well, they're backed up into their base at the moment because they have nowhere else they can go. And Meepo, while he might be pushing out the top lane or be keeping his presence around the map, like, he can be there in a moment. Straight towards the mid lane, it's just a poof away.
And EG, I mean, a lot of other teams respect Excalibur's Meepo, and sure, they didn't pick it until last, but you kind of have to expect that from Fnatic. You have to expect Tiny Wisp, which they banned out Wisp. You have to expect the Tinker, which they also banned out, and you have to expect Meepo. It just looked like they weren't prepared for it, like they weren't game one.
There's a jump in by Excalibur. He's going on Arteezy. The Doom pops the BKB. Arteezy, he's almost dead. Nightmare protecting him now. Excalibur. That Meepo dropping very low, but it's the Aegis, the Immortal. He'll come back up again. All that's been lost. Well, actually, there's 2 BKBs, which are lost for EG, but the Fiend's Grip, it's got one of the Meepos. Soul Rip trying to keep him up. Universe with a Ravage buying in the space. Excalibur's down. They're coming out for a fight. In comes Hardy. He drops the Echo and No Tail in with a hole. He's managed to pick up Basin. They need him down. They need him dead. They got him dead. Universe is still in the fight. Arteezy outside for the Ghost Scepter, making impossible fight. No Tail. TP's out. Fly as well. Bison Morts expects the fact he's going to die. And that is going to be all she wrote for the fight. EG, they had a really, really good start to that fight.
Mason saved that fight, getting the Doom on the Enigma while they killed Meepo twice. That was the saving grace for them. If that doesn't happen, I think EG just straight up loses right there.
Man, they had that. I can't believe they managed to work through the Aegis. We were sitting there going, you know what, Aegis Meepo, how can they really repel that? But as he said, straight up Doom. That Tide Ravage also bought a lot of extra space.
The Earthshaker came in a little late too. I think everyone is expecting Black Hole on the side of Fnatic. They're like, okay, yeah. Meepo goes in, baits out spells. We find Doom. If he BKBs Black Hole, it's only Bane and Doom that they need to worry about.
But now, EG, they get themselves a breather. Maybe they actually get themselves back up again. But they've lost their 3,000 gold advantage experience-wise too. They were losing that very, very quickly. But they've also got to look now to the next fight. How is that one meant to really unravel? Now you get a good Doom off this one. Can they really get the same next time around?
I think so, mostly because it's really unexpected that Zai has picked up this level of farm. You usually don't see Wraith Kings transition this smoothly into a damage dealer, and he has picked up a SNY and Treads post Blink Dagger, and sitting at 2, 1, and 10, being very, very effective.
Fnatic's coming in again, man. There's no Black Hole and there's no Ravage. So we won't have these big things for this fight, and I'm pretty sure Universe is a little bit annoyed too. He can't finish up the full pipe of his, because his buyback is basically going to be on cooldown for this anyway. So he probably wants to have it.
At the same time, Fnatic can't really stay around. Black Hole cooldown is longer than Ravage, so if they stay around, they'll just wait until Ravage is up and Black Hole isn't and just destroy them.
Well, that's only 22 seconds away. The Meepo is taking care of most of the side lanes, however. You see him like... takes care of most of the top. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, he's pushing that one out too. The Poof's away, and he just used the Poofs. Universe is in here. The Ravage is up in 10 seconds time with the Fiend's Grip. It caught Excalibur. Zai, Hellfire Blast. 1 second. Ravage, he's out.
Well played. Well played indeed. That Meepo coming from behind and stopping that grip was key. And luckily, they didn't have to use Ravage for that. But still, Fnatic, I mean, they're just all the way up to EG's base, and EG has to use a smoke to attempt anything of that sort. And this was during nighttime, too, and he had just used his poofs.
I'd also want to point out the fact he's also got 3K gold, basically. So with that, imagine what happens once that Skadi's up and running. How much then will you have to commit to kill this Meepo? Let alone a Meepo who, like, once he has that too, might even be looking at the next Roshan. He's only like 3 or so minutes away from potential spawn time.
He can also consider EB, too. Very good versus the TA, and it will give him a fair amount of armor.
I'll add a new Blink to the mix. We've got EG as well, like, back inside their base. They're being watched like a hawk. They need a gem. They really, really need a gem. There's sentry wards across their base. They've got to look for the observers as well. And they need to have a peek around to see where Fnatic are coming from. But I suppose you know when Fnatic are going to arrive anyway. They just rush in. They all come in through one big way while the Meepo keeps the other lanes pushed out. And now Hardy, Echo Slam straight away. They're going Arteezy. He'll never get the BKB off. He's on the sidelines at the moment. And TA, no buyback. 2 minutes, 15 seconds on cooldown. This is a massive problem for EG. And it could be the final nail in the coffin, the fact that Arteezy's got caught out. The Tombstone has been used, but Enigma Black holds off cooldown. Ravage is still there, but the major problem is no TA. They have fortification, and they will need to delay this. Now Excalibur misses the first net. He brings in the rest, and now Notal. They're focusing the Doombringer. He got Zai on the edge of it as well. There's Trixie. The Ravage as well will try and buy some space, but Mason too low. Zai's trying to beat down, but he's losing all of his life points. Doom will bite back. The Racing ulti will trigger, so he's back up again and living. Only 45 seconds until TA is back. It's too long. They actually got Excalibur. PPD. He got the grip off. Flies in trouble. Universe's body blocking him up. Doombringer's back towards the front line, so is Zai. Hellfire Blast, stopping the Undying, and he's dead. Double kill coming in for Zai. They're looking for more. They need the stragglers of Fnatic, but they bought themselves the time. The tier 3 tower remains up, and they do not lose racks, while the TA had buyback on cooldown.
Enigma made a mistake there, but that was mostly because of the last fight. He knew that if he doesn't get Doom, Doom's just going to doom him. So instead of just waiting and being patient and staying in the fog and waiting for a better opportunity, he went in, he single solo black hole the Doom, and they didn't even kill him during that. He needs to wait until a lot of the focus is on the Meepo. They kind of have a momentary lapse in judgment about the Enigma, and then he goes in for the big black hole. So Mason's positioning, again, very, very good, saving EG from losing a T3 interacts.
EG staying in it for now. It really does feel like a bit of an up and down game because everything's starting to flatline. Gold advantage is flatlining. The experience is just hovering around that 6,000 to 7,000 advantage. Still in favor of EG, but for me, the next major point is going to be Roshan. And the prep that comes up to that. If you can get yourself kills before this point, you got yourself a lot more. And as you're seeing now, we see the Roshan spawn time. And the players will be looking for the next 3 minutes on Roshan. But this is the wonderful time when you have both TA as well as Venomancer. Both teams are going to know instantly. You know there's a side trap there. You know there's going to be a Venomancer ward inside the pit as well. Both will reveal Roshan the second he arrives.
And look at Meepo, sitting at 17 armor, +2, going for a Scotty next. It's going to be extremely difficult for TA to actually do anything. Yeah, sure, he has Desolator and he has a lot of minus armor, but Meepo is 2,500 HP.
There's the reveal now. So EG and Fnatic, they've got... I don't know who really wants to go in there apart from, well, okay, well, that's going to answer that question. Now, EG, your question. Without Ravage, 20 seconds on cooldown, do you try and contest this, or do you wait? And the answer, they try. They come in close. They found Big Daddy, but he got the BKB off. Fisher as well, and the Universe of Tombstone is really clogging up the works. Roshan's down. Aegis the Immortal is in the hands of the Meepo, and the BKBs have already gone. Pipes as well, and EG, they have to back up. Ravage might come off cooldown. Trixie jumping in. No BKB. He's the man with the cheese. Hex from Excalibur going on Arteezy. Universe, now the Ravage will go. Gets almost everyone. Zai's out as well, looking for flying. They've got the Aegis down the Meepo. Notal, low on life. No black hole, still available. 18 seconds. The urn charge lets you take him out from this one. He's dropping really low. Now Harney drops down the Echo Slam. Maybe it's enough. Excalibur trying to poof around, looking for more damage. Universe still up with the Anchor Smash. It kills off the Meepo. Flyer's still battling, but EG, they've got the upper hand in this one. Harney slowed up, but he blinked towards the high ground. He can't TP himself out this one because he doesn't know she owned one. Trixie over towards the Dyad Ancients as well. He's on the run. PPD's right behind him. Fiend's Grip's available. Trixie, he's on the high ground. Blinks down. The Radiant Creep Wave's there. He's got Plague Wards, which will slow down the escape. He should be able to get himself away here just by blinking away to safety. Arteezy, the man that can go on the hunt, if only he was a Bloodseeker right now. But not going to happen. They're out. But EG, they contest Roshan. They get rid of the Aegis. Zai, he doesn't have ultimate. But he, with Ghost Scepter, Hellfire Blast becomes a little bit more effective. Now Zai, overstayed his welcome. 10 seconds, he's in trouble. Now all of a sudden he's dead. Dominating spree is now ended. The Enigma will take it. 25 to 16, an unwanted casualty there for EG.
Huge sleep by PBD to set up that fight. They were trying to burst down Arteezy with the Scythe of Vice, and the sleep bought him enough time so that he could pop his BKB and turn around. And Fnatic fought in that like 20-30 second window when Black Hole is not up and Ravage was. I can tell what Trixie was trying to do, trying to catch him off guard, trying to force a fight while their BKBs were down, but it just wasn't the right time. The Ravage just destroyed them, and Enigma unable to really do anything about it.
And Mason, he is just starting to rack up the items, looking better on that Doombringer. I'm wondering now if Fnatic is having the troubles with the Meepo, the fact they just don't have enough damage to get through EG at the moment. Like, Templar Assassin's become like a secondary hero. I know he's still got a lot of money on Arteezy, and when he does jump in with that Desolator, he really hits like a truck, but still, how is Fnatic meant to be dealing with both Mason as well as Universe?
And Zai.
And Zai, yeah, I should probably go back to him as well.
Yeah, Zai's closing in on AC. Still, Trixie's pretty farmed too. Has his Ags, has a Blink, has a G's that he can easily pass to Meepo. Actually, Meepo's not a good holder of G's at all.
But it's like Undying and Honey though. Like, for me, I look at EG and like, you're talking about Wraith King, like, it's Zai. This guy is basically walking around like a core hero for EG. And he's not just a core hero, he's a double core hero because of his ultimate. Fnatic have no mana burn against him, so he's basically guaranteed every single fight to get his reincarnation triggered off. Every single time.
But at the same time, Fnatic has a lot more variance to fights than it may initially seem. If they have like a 3 or 4 main Echo Slam, a pretty decent Black Hole from No Tail, it's an instant one-team fight. These fights, like Enigma's not getting off good Black Holes, and Earthshaker's not having the best Chaos Dunks because EG's just not giving it to them. But again, if they just slip one time, it's a Rax.
Yeah. Well, that one time hasn't happened for EG, and so far throughout this tournament, I'm pretty sure most people before we came into this matchup was like, yeah, okay, EG, their coordination's really been flawless throughout the tournament, especially really surprising for their first match, their first match of the day. They really, like, their coordination was just wonderful to watch, and I wasn't expecting Fnatic to have to, like, they pushed them this far, but EG, they are still looking very, very strong at the moment, but Fnatic still have the map control advantage. And as you said, one big Hallelujah fight and they're looking great. And with like Enigma having even more protection on himself right now, he should be able to get that proper hole off. Zai, he's actually a really long way up here in the middle lane, farming up. I know he's got his Ank available, but it's still a dangerous position to be in. And EG, they're making sure they stick with this. Observer wards now, that's going to actually reveal Venomancer against the ulti of Enigma! In for 3 right now, PPD, he's trying to get himself in range, he sees a Lincoln Spear, now it's triggered off, still no kills though! The entire Black Hole duration is gone, Trixie is doomed up, he already threw up the ultimate, but now Zai, he goes down, oh man, Arteezy, low on life, Universe fights in space, Excalibur, too low on the Meepo, Echo Slam from Hani, it comes in too late, it's only on 3 heroes, and now the Hellfire Blast will go, TA's brought back into the game as well, already pushing at the middle lane, Mason, Universe, Gush off cooldown, there goes Hani.
What was the follow-up to that amazing Black Hole?
There was nothing, they were too far away.
Wow.
No one jumped in.
I mean, that was the perfect setup. He had Lincolns on him, he had BKB, he had Black Hole, he had 3 heroes in that, and still unable to walk away with a win in team fight.
But the follow-up is basically the Meepo, isn't it? Like, you throw a Venomancer ulti out, and you're like, oh, okay. It's going to tick you down over time.
Too. I think they popped BKBs before that actually happened, though. And EG with an unnecessary buyback, though, that may cost, that they may come back to haunt them.
Yeah, you're right, because that's put him on cooldown for 5 more minutes now. And he also can't farm during this period of time. Like, all he can do is basically re-establish trap control.
If it's an early Roshan respawn, it's what, 2.5 minutes until then. And then Meepo has a buyback and an Aegis. You're talking about 3 lives versus Arteezy's maximum 1. Well, it doesn't really feel like Arteezy's actually able to do that much damage in these fights. He's getting focused down very, very hard.
And I want to watch Excalibur so closely now. Like, if No Tail does that again, Excalibur has got to be right on the money, which basically means he's on the basically the tails of Enigma's coat. He's got to be with him at the moment. Because if this keeps happening again, EG's advantage, like, it's just actually shot up even again. 15,000 is the experience gain right now for EG over Fnatic, and the goal's starting to go that way too. After 40 minutes, like EG, they managed to bring down that top tier 1 tower. They need to still get through tier 2s and then threaten the racks, but are they feeling at a point now they can do this with a 4-man core?
Experience almost means nothing at this point. Undying already has almost 4 points in all of his skills, and Earthshaker also pretty under level 2. But Excalibur, level 25, so their levels may be concentrated in a couple of heroes, but it's the heroes that they need.
Yeah. I suppose in a way too, you've kind of got to like take into account like it's still like a lot of meepos. It's a lot of meepos.
And Mason is actually forced to doom the Venomancer. If you look in that fight, well, given Enigma had Lincoln's on and he had already blown his black hole, but still, if Venomancer is your second choice to doom, it's pretty significant.
Yeah. Man, you actually see how long too PPD waited? He waited the entire almost the entire duration of the black hole to use his Fiend script, because when the BKB and Lincoln Sphere is on him, you've got, what, nothing that can really stop him unless you wanted to go, like, have these, like, big abilities which you need to use to get through BKB. Not going to use Fiend Script to trigger Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, they just, it is a very melee-heavy and short-range lineup. Bane and TA not even full-range heroes, so it's very likely that they are going to clump. And Honey had a really big Echo Slam, too. But, again, if it had come just a couple of seconds earlier, or before they pop their BKBs, would have been huge.
Yeah. Oh, for now, man, we go back to our passive moment as we set up for the next one. More than likely, Roshan will again be the key fighter, and he's 15 to 20 seconds away from potential spawn time. So again, we start the countdown, and again, we wait and watch how many ultimates are used before the engagement actually begins. Is there any pickoffs? Because if this becomes a 4v5 engagement, EG or Fnatic, whoever has the advantage, could just turn it and then go straight into racks.
Yeah, right now is the...
Oh, look at the spawn time too. Man, it looks like the random generator wants us to keep on playing and keep on playing now.
Neither team just can get picked off right now, especially Arteezy, since he doesn't have buyback, so they should probably take it a little bit easy until then, unless they see a good opportunity, especially on Excalibur. So EG just looking for any weakness in positioning from Fnatic.
Yeah, and the warding goes down again. So, as always, assume Plague Ward, assume TA Trap, which means assume Vision of Roshan, and both teams will be aware of this. Both teams will also be very much aware of like what Excalibur now brings to the engagement. It's like when you play up against Nature's Prophet, you're always going to be watching your side lanes while you're trying to also claim massive points on the map, like Roshan, for example. But if Meepo is doing split push, you have to be careful. If you're going to jump in, you got to jump in, you got to do it fast, quick, and efficient. Which EG do really have enough power to do so, but it's still 1 minute 30 until you can have that buyback on Arteezy. Plague Ward's not making this any easier, and the Plague Ward's actually fighting from inside the pit. That gets brought down, and now Hani jumps in. Big Echo Slam on Mason. The Midnight Pulse is there too. Mason got the BKB, evades the cold. Now No-Tell, where's your black hole? He only got Mason, however, Zai. His ulti will trigger at the back end of play, or will it? He stays alive, racing. Now he does go down. The buyback will come out from the Enigma, and in comes Arteezy, looking for Excalibur. Ravage will buy him the time. Excalibur's down. EG, they gain the advantage of the fight. Hani's trying to run himself away. Blinks up towards the high ground, but they're chasing down Fly, who gets really lucky with the Impet's room, but the stun comes from Zai in time. And this will now mean EG take Roshan.
Again, it's a solo black hole on the Doombringer, and I don't actually know why he's using it on the Doombringer. He already has a Lincoln Sphere, and if he doesn't get Arteezy's just going to destroy him.
And Arteezy now has Aegis the Immortal, and what I assume to be a full Daedalus. Wow. This is so dangerous. Even Zai, okay, I'm not quite sure they give him the cheese. Maybe he's just a carrier for now.
So you have to applaud the support play from EG. PPD has been spot on in positioning every one of these fights. Immediately there to sleep any high priority target that gets focused and still never gets caught by any of the AoE.
It's amazing to really watch, and yeah, we're right, man. We're right. There's enough money here on Arteezy. His buyback's going to come off cooldown as well now, so the danger time for EG, I'm not going to say it's fully over because Arteezy's still 800 gold short of having a buyback, but with a push coming towards the bottom lane and the power which he'll really feel like he has now, I doubt EG will feel too scared to come out of their base anymore.
Meepo can't weather the BKB from TA. She does too much damage at this point. I think he really does need an EB, though, to stop this.
It's going to be a rough ass. I'm going to hate you. Look at this. It's the Meepo. Like, you saw him. He came out and he got ravaged straight away. It doesn't matter. Like, I think it was Pycat who said it during the break. It's like a one-man ravage on Meepo. That's fine. You don't care. As long as it holds him there long enough that you can kill him off. And with the damage output coming from the Templar Assassin, you're going to have that damage output required.
They have to approach with the same way that they've been approaching some of these other fights, which is Meepo goes in first. If he's in a lot of trouble, you follow it with an Echo Slam or Enigma. Else he'll just solo kill anybody that's out there alone. So I think they should still stick with that game plan, not have Venomancer rush in, which was what happened after that Aegis fight, not have Hani jump the gun, which was right before that last Roshan fight, and it's just been a little sloppy from Fnatic. One-man black holes from
It's worse.
Hotel.
It's so much worse now for Fnatic. If they're looking at Doombringer, and I'm pretty sure they are, they're going to see a refresher orb over on him. You're dealing with a double Doom, a double Shivas. That's the potential right now.
Look at his tank ability, though. He's probably tankier than Meepo. 2600 HP. He has Shivas for the minus attack speed. He has BKB, which Meepo doesn't have the pleasure of getting. And, I mean, he has refresher, as you said.
Yeah. He's got everything he possibly wants. Look at Venomancer! One hit on the side blade, and he loses 2/3 of his life points. This is Trixie, who's still carrying the cheese from the last Roshan, or 2 Roshans ago. Look at Zay's damage too. They got a DD rune over on this Wraith King. This is so dangerous right now. He can just walk up high ground with no fortification and take the tower. Fissure from Hani. They try and keep him out. Nightmare, the 4-star, brought him in range. He doesn't want to blink up towards the high ground. The blink deck is back off cooldown now for the Wraith King, but the DD's wearing off. That Fissure actually bought Fnatic some time. And Meepo, he's trying to buy the space with that time. Pushing out the top lane, pushing out the bottom lane, and leaving one Meepo back at base. So he can come back. It's just the 2-2-man squad on the side lanes, which are going to make EG maybe even force this a little bit earlier than they really want to. Another Fissure from Hani and the Gale on the Templar Assassin, but they're battling from the low ground. They're trying to hold them back, but they brought that tier 3 tower down to half-life. The lanes are still split pushing though, Merlini.
I don't think they can continue. The Earthshaker block is just too strong. What are you supposed to do? Blink across it and leave some of your team strength behind?
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. So
not unless everyone's got a Blink Dagger, and well, right now they do actually have 3 Blink Daggers and a 4-staff. The only person who doesn't have it is Arteezy. So technically, yes, EG could put all of their teammates up on high ground straight away if they had a secondary 4-staff.
That's actually one of the few things that people may think is, like, I wouldn't say cheating, it's just like an exploit that people don't like, is the Fissure block across. A lot of the other things have been either just changed so you can't actually do it, such as backdoor protection, so it's not even a question anymore. But that one particular thing has been actually ruled out of a lot of tournaments because of how strong that is.
I remember we used to have a ban in a lot of Warcraft 3 tournaments. It was rules, but that was also back in the days when we would limit how many sites of ice you could have.
Yeah, and necro books.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, man. Back in the old days.
Well, the other items have been tweaked. A lot of items have been, buffed to the strength of Scythe of Ice, and Necro has been like nerfed a little bit too. Whereas Earthshaker is buffed and buffed and buffed, and it's still the same old thing. You can't push into that.
It's just the way the mechanic works. It's, they try to change it with, like, now it basically becomes a sticky Fissure.
Yeah, but I think that's more pertinent for like ancient pulling. For Earthshaker. For this, it doesn't really have that much of an effect. Like 50 minutes, and who cares if there's creeps on the base?
It actually technically makes it easier to do the blocking on the lane. Because you don't even need to do it like a full block when you do it. But either way, the game continues. We approach now the 50-minute mark, or actually gone over the 50-minute mark. EG, man, they're still... I know the experience doesn't mean as much anymore, but still, when you look at a team with 35,000 experience lead, you still think like EG is so far ahead that that wonderful website of like when did they do what last could just be updated if they end up losing this game. I know it's still up against a Meepo, but still. I like the fact that the Fnatic have managed to wait out the entire Aegis duration. Like, it's only got 1 minute left on it. So Arteezy really hasn't capitalized on this, but you know, like, when he comes back out again, it's 5.2k gold on him. He's going to fill that item slot so quickly. I'm wondering what he actually does with it. Like, if he goes for survivability, does he go in for heart? Does he try and go for butter? Does he go for butterfly then?
Butterfly's pretty good.
Yep.
New BKB is also an option. It's at 4 seconds now. I think a lot of people have been praising PPD and Zai, and this game especially showcases it. PPD with his defensive sleeps, his positioning to catch out Enigma when he's black holing, and also Zai's smooth transition from Wraith King support to Wraith King carry. His net worth is just 600 behind TA right now. 600 or 2600. You just dropped an item with his Midas. He actually sold his Midas and transitioned that into a Manta style. Manta style's decent too. It's an unusual option for TA. A lot of people don't like it. You don't get the Refraction, you don't get the Desolator, but it is pretty nice. You can actually bait out a lot of spells too. And perhaps, like, especially a Sheep from Meepo. If you get that on a Manta, it's huge.
Yeah. Aegis duration is now over. It feels like Fnatic are now doing what EG were doing before. Wait for them to come to us. You basically farm it and they will come. 52 minutes in right now.
You see Wraith King's items? What is this? Where does he find this farm?
I don't know, man. It's just coming out of the woodwork. I love this from PBD. Absolutely love this, but they need more help here. Like, there's no one else here.
So with Doom having a refresher now, does he actually Doom Enigma twice? Once to pop the Lincolns and once to actually Doom him? I think that's a... I think it's worth it, actually.
I would still focus on Trixie. I think the Venomancer ulti is still going to be the difference between EG winning the fight and EG winning the fight and then pushing into the base.
That's true.
Like the other option is you try and you do go for the Enigma, but you use one Doom, that's fine. Bane's going to be your follow-up. You've still got three major controllers: the double Doom and the Fiend script, which will be there. Double you out.
So maybe use one on Enigma, one on the Venomancer. Of course, this is an ideal situation.
Yeah.
Fights are often going to be so hectic that you can't plan that out.
Yeah, if in the ideal world, the perfect situation, you use one on Enigma, one on Venomancer, and then the Fiend script takes out whichever one is surviving through it all.
And probably find down Earthshaker to prevent his blink with the Scorched Earth.
They're coming in really close right now. The Flame Ward attacks him, and the Gale as well. Arteezy just pops the Mana Cell, breaks free. The Soul Rip trying to keep Trixie alive, but they're coming in, and now Enigma! He gets the hold up with the BKB. The Lincoln Spear is protecting him out, and the Echo Slam too. Ravage will pop now. The Black Hole is over. They're still trying to fight it up, and he's going to go down. TA and Tide on the sidelines. The net is off target. PPD is out. Excalibur couldn't manage to ensnare. The Bane who is TPing away to safety. The buybacks are, however, still there. If we sort by team, the TA still has buyback. The Tide does not.
Fnatic with a huge play there, knowing that they have a very small window in between Aegis, Expiration into the next Roshan, and completely taking full advantage of that. Arteezy actually been getting caught out far more than usual today.
Yeah. Oh, wow, look at that timer. Look at that timer again. The gods of Dota are wanting us to have nothing but non-stop action to push in with a long, drawn-out fight. But 54 minutes in, Fnatic, they look towards the bottom of the base. They have a window of opportunity. They'll have to make TA buy back and catch Tidehunter. Even if he buys back right now, the Tidehunter, I suppose Shiva's mech as well as the pipe is worth having him there, but he's still 20 seconds on the sideline. Fortification is available from EG, and they're buying the time. Level death, Tombstone's down as well. And Fnatic, they're chipping away, and now they Zai. He jumps and he just wants the Tombstone gone. Fissure making it very, very difficult to do so, but the Tombstone is down. The tower's still up. Tide, he's back alive again, and Fnatic, well, you gotta flag what's gonna be up, man. They gotta check for Roshan. They do not take the Rax. And, well, 24 seconds.
Can't buy back.
No.
They won't win the fight.
No, he has to accept the fact that it's gone. Like, there's no other choice right now.
If he buys back and goes to the fight and they lose the fight because they don't have Ravage, they lose the game.
Yeah.
So it's too risky. And wait for another day. Wait for a better opportunity.
Yeah. Are we now up to 2 G? We're up to 2 G's over on Fnatic. 1 G's is over on EG. We go for what is the next number of Roshan. 55 minutes into this game. It will continue. Look at Doombringer's money, man. He's got 5.7k. This guy could sell his drums and pick up an Aghanim Scepter if he wants to.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the best item for him at this point. I think a lot of people go for like Halberd or Ags, but it's not good for Meepo.
Halberd won't help him.
Yeah.
Like, Aghanims is the only thing I'm considering right now, and is the only reason why I'm saying it is because it does force Fnatic to back off and then come back in again, and the damage increase on it, it might just be enough to justify it. Because what else are you going to do? Build a heart? You've already got 2.7k life points over on him. Yeah, you've got Mjolnir.
I think Mjolnir would be pretty good. He can also go in Abyssal for additional disable versus the BKB Lincoln's Doom. I think those are his two, or Enigma rather, I think those are his two best options.
The only problem is if Enigma's using BKB as well as Lincoln Sphere, like the Abyssal Blade, he'll have to come in point-blank range for that, which means he has to get to the other side of the black hole. And that's not an easy
I think it's
thing.
much safer to go for Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Satanic's actually not a bad choice either. But
it's just more survivability. Like, EG kind of need damage to still come out of their lineup. They got a lot of tankability. Like, and they've already got one Abyssal over on Zai. And he's also got Reincarnate and Buyback. So EG fighting from inside their base is actually really, really strong when you consider it. Like, as long as they still have buybacks, which, like, TA still does, 3.8k gold, he's still walking around with cheese. Universe has buyback as well. Actually, no, he's actually still short. 360 gold. You kind of forget when you're 56 minutes into the game and level 21 Tidehunter, your buyback costs about 1,600 gold. Actually, 1,614 right now on him.
So now that we come to a small break in the game, and the game is still relatively even, who do you think is going to come out on top?
Man, I wouldn't want to bet on it. It's like my rares will remain quite firmly in my inventory. Because your Meepo, you never know what it's going to do. If Harney's able to get like an awesome Echo Slam off, you just don't know. And now, oh, pick off. They found Fly. They found Fly, and can they kill him off? They wait for it, and they commit Fiend Script. They will ensure his death. The gems on the deck, they may not even care about that. Observer Ward, okay, they will. They plant one last Observer Ward, and they will back themselves up. He was there, by looks of it. Okay, he's just dead no matter what. But there was an Observer Ward, which was there. Okay, yeah, it does get picked off now.
And what about 5th item for TA? Yeah, item choice is just extremely difficult versus Meepo.
5th item for TA, you still have to look for DPS. No matter how this really goes down, you still... Actually...
Really? I think he does enough damage. I think he might just go... he gets Black Hole often. He also gets Scythe often. Maybe...
If you can survive it, would you try and build into a Satanic?
Yeah, Satanic would be pretty good, but he already has Desolator. Like, yeah, I think Lincoln's is actually a pretty good option for him. It'll block the Scythe. And if he BKB...
Either that or he just says screw it and just goes for the Butterfly and pray for evasion.
Yeah, but I mean, if he Scythe the Vice, though, he's not going to...
True, yeah, he loses the advantage straight away.
It does give him a lot more damage, though, than an item like Lincoln's still. We'll see.
Well, now we get like a fresh BKB. That Wraith King, man.
Wraith King 6-slotted.
Yeah, they're running a 4-core lineup here from EG. The hilarious thing is, and this is where I'm still very uncertain about things like, okay, Hani is like what makes up the fact that EG had the 4-core is the combo you were talking about like almost 20 minutes ago. Like, it's the Black Hole with a big Echo Slam from Hani. It's a large amount of control with Venomancer Ultimate. All of these things together just makes it beautiful, but you're not finding the damage out from Trixie after the combo is done. And Flying is kind of... We got a level 14, man. It's a level 4... Like, if I just make it... There you go. 14, 15, 18. The levels are so far behind on both the ES as well as the Undying. You don't even have, like, a level 3 Ultimate for Fly, let alone Earthshaker having a level 3 Echo Slam. These things just don't exist right now for Fnatic. I'm just worried that these two heroes are tailing off so much that EG will just have more people who do more during the engagements.
And Mason actually picked up an interesting item. It wasn't one of the two that I talked about, but is still pretty good for catching heroes out. And it looks like they think that it's going to go less of like a straight brute force 5-on-5 and more for pickoffs and small skirmishes.
There's your TA item. BTs. Could just be purchased again for the fight. He comes in with treads and then just goes from there. Nice TA trap. Scouts out all of Fnatic. The visual actually come out already, and he's hexed up, and in comes to support the Black Hole with the help. Echo Slam. Oh man, he's already down. He is. Arteezy's down. Instant buyback. They can keep finding this one. Excalibur. Low on life being focused. He'll go down. Trixie. Fiend Script holding the Venomancer right up. Play Big Daddy on the run out to Universe. Anchor Smash removing all the damage, and in comes Arteezy. Look at the swing. Zai. He's too low, but the ultimate, it keeps him alive. There goes your Meepo. They move over. Hani up on the high side. Got the stomp off. There's TP out from Mason. 150 life points. The stun will come from Zai. Hani is toast right now. Yule Scepter up in the air, trying to buy the time, but he drops to his death. The Enigma and the Venomancer, the only ones to survive. We crack the hour mark, and EG may for the first time properly crack the Fnatic base.
There's too many spells that have to be used on Arteezy to kill him. They blink Sheep him, and then he gets defensively slept, and then they blink BKB Black Hole. And then after that, what do they have in terms of hard disables? Really nothing. And TA fought back, DOT back in the fight, and was easily able to clean up. They barely took down Zai once. Universe's Rabbit didn't really connect with anything that big because there were a lot of BKBs going on. But, I mean, EG, they're just way too far, and Doom just left completely unchecked.
Man, this Meepo buyback, the Fisher again from Hani. Oh, they hate it. And when Trixie takes damage too with that Mjolnir effect on him, he's mopping up that creep wave so quickly, and the Soul Rip keeps him alive. Meanwhile, back in middle lane, Malavastun, it's just TA with the death, so they work their way through the tower. The Malavastun and Mason and EG, they're going to give the Fnatic defense and Fisher the respect it deserves, and they will back up as 61 minutes in. But these BTs is now really going to allow TA just a split push. He's also got 3.7k gold, and with buyback on cooldown, he may as well just go balls to the wall here. I don't know if it means pass off the cheese, but he could just buy the butterfly or whatever.
And a lot of spells do tons of damage this late into the game, especially percent-based spells. We're talking about Enigma, 7% HP. If Doom stands in that, that's going to do like 2,000 damage probably in level death on Doom 2 against a 3,000 HP Meepo, 20% of his HP. These heroes scale incredibly well going past the hour mark.
Man, if this game keeps going any longer, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Excalibur hit new records for CS on Meepo. He's 624 right now. The net worth is sitting at 30,000 as well. And Tidehunter buying, rebuying Arcane Boots. What happened to his right then? But either way, why would you do that? Like, would you purchase BTs at this point?
I'm not sure. Who do you focus if you're Fnatic, though? I mean,
yeah, there we go. Yeah, he buy.
Oh, jeez.
What are you doing, Universe? What are you doing? He disassembles it. He picks up the energy booster.
Do you see Enigma's items, though? That's going to be a game changer, I think.
Was he managed to... Oh, wow. You have made me a very happy caster. A very, very, very happy caster. You're right. It really could be. It really, really could be. That much control... EG could have some serious problems with this.
He actually leveled... He didn't level Black Hole, too. Doesn't want that mana cost.
I don't think he can afford it. And it's not worth it. Like, the minimum damage, like the cooldown, it's only 10 seconds change up. It's really not worth it. At the same time, he probably could just bought Arcane Boost, but either way. Actually, look at his mana pool, too. It's so low. How is he meant to use all of this? He's going to need the Arcane Boost from the rest of his team, but he... Fly... Like, he's like the only one with it. That's really, really problematic for him.
Yeah, so at the same time, looking at buyback status right now, actually only 3 heroes in the game with buyback.
Yeah, they spent all their money. Like, they're basically committing Mason. This could be real problems for him. Excalibur sees it. Blink in. They go for the first hit. The Midnight Pulse, and there's your jump in. Universe, good Ravage. First Black Hole now going to go, but look at the damage from Arteezy. He evaporates the Enigma. Universe is here, and now he goes to Excalibur. He's down 2, 3 lost. They've almost got him by the cheese pop, and he just nails the Venomancer into play. Ultra kill for Arteezy. He can't be stopped, this Templar assassin. He mops Fnatic. And now EG will go base.
Wow, crits for days. My goodness. Those meld strikes, as you said, completely evaporated them. Him going this refresher in Lincoln's build doesn't give him any armor.
Nope. And the funny thing is, too, like, that was possibly the shortest black hole of his life. That was minus PGG style.
He has to black hole Arteezy, though. He's been doing that every single time, and when he doesn't, 5-0.
Yep. I almost think this is over right now. With a Desolator, with no buybacks apart from the Meatbow, they're going to get a double ranks, if not a triple ranks, if not just a straight tier 4 tower GG. Fnatic, they are in a crippled position. They're going for the Mega Creeps. They're going for the Mega Creeps, and they're going to get them. Like, Meatbow's coming up in a moment. But this is 4 Megas up against such a powerful lab. EGG, there it is. EG will be the victors, 40-21. They have won themselves a ticket to the ESL 1 Grand Final to face up against Invictus Gaming. In what was a long and hard drawn-out matchup, IG rested and will be ready for their opponents, Evil Geniuses, America versus China. Man, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, what a grand finals. Man, I mean, the EG, everyone just played extremely, extremely well. A lot of people praise our